Blades fans, subscribe to Blades Ramble. Up the Blades.
As always, the Ramble is sponsored by COACH Sheffield. If you're a growing business and you want support to continue that growth, they are the people to speak to. Thank you for joining the team for their continued support for the Ramble. Today's Ramble is also sponsored by High Point Access. Thank you to them for their support. They are your number one stop shop for all your working at heights and roofing needs. If you mention the Blades Ramble when booking any works with them, you'll also get 10% off. What is happening, Blades? And welcome back to the Blades Ramble, the top of the league Blades Ramble. How are we all? How are we all doing? Oh, my word. Oh, my word. Oh, you can't write it, can you? You cannot write it. My boy, Connor. Oh. Mate, I hope you're well. I hope you're well. We'll check in with him a bit later. We might even beam him in because I think he's probably streaming at this time. Thoughts are with you. Look, there's a long way to go. And I am fully aware, because it's been like this all season, I'm fully aware that I am clippable and it could turn around on Sheffield United. We might finish third and, you know, end up going into playoffs and who knows what happens then. But I am truly of the belief, not in an arrogant way, but because of the rivalry between the three clubs at the moment, you have got to enjoy it while you're on top, because you don't know how long you're going to be on top for. So everything I am basking in tonight, I will be, it could well come back and bite me, and I'm prepared to take that. So, and I will. If Leeds and Burnley finish above us, I will eat humble pie. But because of that, you've got to let me have our moment as well. When Sheffield United, and let's get this right, it's not been Sheffield United got lucky, like they've been trying to say. Certainly Connor and Joe have been trying to say over the last couple of weeks. Sheffield United keep getting lucky. We were outstanding last night. Absolutely outstanding. That was, and it doesn't mean we're going to get promoted, but that was a promotion performance. We were a level above the informed team in the league. And I'm not saying, that people are saying that Coventry were poor and they had an off night. I think we stopped them from playing. You look at their players, they have got, and we've had frustrations in this season so far in terms of looking at our lineup and thinking, how come we're not dominating? How come we're not playing so much better? And Coventry may have had that argument yesterday because they've got Hadji Wright's some player, but nullified completely by my man of the match. And I haven't heard this name mentioned a lot, but Anel Ahmedhodzic last night was outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. Siddy Peck, outstanding. Tyrese Campbell missed a couple, but still, how he has come on as a player is incredible. It's night and day. I thought and we're not gonna slate anybody in our team. I'm going to say Ryan Brewster. Absolutely delighted for Ryan Brewster. Whether you rate him as a player or not, he shouldn't even need that caveat tonight because we are top of the league and we have earned going top of the league. The reasons that we're sort of talking about other teams, because we have to. People sort of say it's about what we do. And of course, first and foremost, it's always about what we do. Always. If we don't do our bit, then it doesn't matter what anybody else does. Burnley might lose every game apart from win one game. If we don't win any of our games left, then they're going to finish above us. So it's all about what we do first and foremost. But you've got to be aware of what the others are doing around you. And today, Leeds United, after my mate Connor was saying they had the easiest fixture of and they did. Let's be honest, they did. We had Coventry at home, who are the toughest of the three games that the top three were facing today, over the weekend. Coventry at home won 10 in 12. And we beat them. And we didn't only beat them. We put them to bed, tucked them in, and gave them a dummy last night. And that's no offence to Coventry because they're a good side. I don't think they represented themselves well last night. But again, I think it was because we played them off the park. I thought it clicked for us last night. Rhian Brewster were a huge part of that as well, because I've been one of his critics this season. I thought Jack Robinson did okay as well. I'm not, again, it's not... The one thing that I will say is Michael Cooper proved that he's human. It was his usual superhuman self for 99% of the game, and then he didn't absolutely seamlessly deal with something at the end. And I'd rather he did that when we're 3-0 up, by the way. Tom Cannon, I thought he's starting to veer on the side of trying a bit too hard. Again, I'd rather he were taking shots that he could have played somebody else in when we're 3-0 up. Again, I'm not gonna start down that line, because what a phenomenal weekend it's been for Sheffield United. And fair play to Burnley. We were watching their game, because I thought, I've been at my dad's today to watch the games, and shout out Jord. I thought the game that we had to focus on today was Burnley-Bristol City, because after the Coventry game, Bristol City were the hardest opponents of the three, weren't they? Let's be right. They were the second toughest game, Bristol City. They came to Bramall Lane, did a bit of a job on us, and fully deserved to come away with a point, which they got, and arguably could have got a little bit more out of that game, even though they're not as clinical. Well, Burnley got a goal, and I don't really... They are doing what's needed, Burnley, at the moment, aren't they? And fair play to them. So that was the result I was hoping for that we didn't quite get. Leeds United... They're still second tonight because of the goal difference, but... Meslier. I haven't seen the winner. I've only heard it because I was setting up. I haven't seen it. But apparently he's doesn't cover himself in glory for that. So basically, if you haven't heard about what happened in the Leeds game, Leeds went 1-0 up after 35 seconds. So that's it. Another reason for us to be watching Burnley and Bristol City. Then Burnley score, and we're like, well, this is all right, isn't it? Me and my dad are on his phones, not really talking to it. Oh, obviously, we're just like a bit sloughing, really. Burnley game continued on like that, continued. And then you hear that Swansea's got a pen. Okay, let's switch over to Swansea. Josh Tymon's holding ball. Mellier's taking his time. And I'm saying, surely it's not him taking it. Surely it's not. They'll be doing what we do. They'll have a holder. He's not going to stand there for so long watching Meslier time waste and then have it ticking around in his head. He puts ball down. My dad went, he's saving this. Just like after Gus Amos stepped up for the free kick last night and said, Gus is going to put this in top corner, which he did say that just before Gus did it, obviously, which we'll come on to. And then he said Meslier saves the penalty. And you think this is going to be their story. We had Gus last night playing Coventry, gets us off to an absolute flyer. Their villain throughout most of the season, Meslier, saves them. You know, clean sheet against the poor Swansea side, let's be right. Nothing to play for. Got whipped by Burnley the other week. Anyway, so he saves the penalty. Then Swansea score an equaliser. Can't remember what it was. I just remember going by me. I think there were about 65 minutes, something like that. It might have been a bit earlier. Lewis O'Brien, handy player who we like. They brought him into place, replace Matt Grimes. Then, get my mate Connor on. Let me get my mate Connor on. So I'm watching Connor's watch along, and he is going banana. Absolutely banana, and we loved it. We loved every minute of it. So we're smiling away, laughing. I see Nick Cook, Ramble Royalty, put a £5 super chat down saying, Connor, what shirt size do you want from Sheffield United shop? Let me know. And I'll tell Jimmy about it or whatever he put. I then put a comment underneath, yes, go on, Cookie lad, or something. And just after that, Leeds score. They bring on Willie Nonto, which Connor had been calling for with 5 minutes to go. His first touch, they score on something like 86 minutes. Done it again, haven't they? Done it again. Well, turns out, no, they haven't. 7 minutes added time, and Swansea score. We won at last kicks at game to equalise. Absolutely incredible scenes. And look, as I said, you've just got to enjoy it while it's happening, because it could all turn around again next week. We've got a trip to Oxford next weekend, and I think Leeds and Burnley are both the half 12 kickoffs. So they are both playing before us. We're the 3 o'clock kickoff on Saturday. So with that in mind, they're on 81 points each and we're on 83. We are top of the league. We'll be on 85 if you talk about what you've won on the pitch. So they are, they could, if they win their games, both of them, and I can't remember who they've got. Oh, Burnley got a Coventry, don't they? So they're going to play the game more than us, but they could both still send us back down into third. So it's still a mental barrier to overcome. But how did we answer that question yesterday? Absolutely incredible from Sheffield United. Absolutely incredible. So we've still got to keep us powder dry to a degree. But if you're anything like me, yes, it could come back and kick you later on. But we've got to enjoy it. So Chris Wilder talked about it in build up to the game before he knew how any results were going to go this weekend. You've got to enjoy it because it hasn't always been like this for Sheffield United fans. And it won't always be like this. Even if we get to where we want to be next season and we go up, then we've got to get beat most weeks. And we all recognise that. If we're honest with ourselves, we all know that. So even next season, in the promised land, which we all want to get to, and I know there's context to it, we're going to get beat most weeks. So it won't be as good as this. It won't feel as good as this, should I say. So anyway, I'm going to jump into some comments. This is 90 after 90. We've had a little play about with some of the graphics, and we're going to try and upskill everything that we're doing, as we're always trying to do. I have got a little bit of an announcement to make. If somebody will remind me later on of that, because I'm not going to jump into everything straight away, in terms of a new show coming to the Ramble, which is very exciting, and particularly so for Platinum Ramblers. But yes, so let's jump into some comments. If you're a Rambler, you can get on to call us tonight, as we've done previously in the past. I've sent the number into the WhatsApp group. So if you want to jump on and give us a call, you're more than welcome. No pressure to do that. I appreciate it. It's whether you're that way inclined or not. So Danny starts us off tonight saying, "Evening, Jimmy." This were at 6:30 this morning. "Evening, Jimmy lad. Great performance. Sariki was outstanding all game. Even Brewster is playing well. Still prefer O'Hare. What current price tag would you put on Campbell? Best free signing ever." I'm going to break this down a little bit, Danny. I don't think Sariki was outstanding all game. I think Sariki was actually quite poor for the first 20, 25 minutes. And I still put it down to, and I've repeated this a couple of times. And again, I don't mean to slate players because I'll come on to the positives. But I think he's found wanting defensively not a lot of the time, but some of the time, particularly against the better teams. And I thought that were exposed yesterday. But what he has got, not only has he got significant physical attributes, he's strong, he's quick, he can look after the ball when he's on the ball, in terms of he's okay at taking his man on and stuff like that. His mental strength is something to be proud of, or whatever the phrase is that I'm looking for, because he doesn't let that poor start get to him. And I thought once he got a bit of a foothold in the game yesterday, and he did it at Hillsborough, didn't he, when they clearly targeted him as a weak link in our side. And he struggled for the first opening 15 minutes, I would probably say, again. And after he sort of realised, actually, I can get onto these, and they'll have to deal with what I can give to them rather than me dealing with what they can give to me all the time. And I thought it was then, from that point, from about 20 minutes, I thought he just got better and better and better. The one thing I will say about Sariki is, obviously, as a young kid, he's a little bit further on than some of the others that we always bracket in the same sort of conversation. But is he a winger? Man Mountain's talked about this before. A few other people have talked about it. Is he a winger rather than a... He's certainly a wing back at very least, isn't he? Rather than a full back. Doesn't mean he won't do well with the right person alongside him either. So, yeah, interesting part of the conversation. In terms of Brewster playing well, absolutely he is. Absolutely he is. And I've got something in my back pocket under the blade that I'm keeping hold of. But what current price tag would you put on Campbell? It's what he's worth to our club, isn't it? It's whatever you think he's worth to our club. So if somebody comes in with we signed him for nothing. But if somebody came in with say it's back in the old days where it's an open transfer window and somebody's no like windows now. Because before, at one stage, Jamie Dumpling, this is probably for you more than anybody else, you used to be able to sign anybody at any point during the calendar. So you could sign somebody 4 weeks before end of season. If that was the case now, and somebody offered us 10 million quid for Ty Campbell, 15 million quid, 20 million quid, would you sell him? Because I wouldn't. So there you go. There you go. Ev says, evening, Jimmy. Wow. Unreal performance for me. Best of the season. Everyone was class. And the Lane's atmosphere may be back. Absolutely right. I thought we were outstanding last night in terms of, we called for it. Wilder called for it first and foremost. Let's be right in terms, let's get the hierarchy right in terms of who called for it. Chris Wilder called for it first. The club then backed him by going with lower ticket prices so we could get more bodies there. There were 30,800 there yesterday. I also want to shout out the Coventry fans who I thought were very, very good. Certainly turned up in big numbers to support the team. I'm pals with a few Coventry fans now, and I think there's a growing respect between the two clubs. It hasn't always been hunky-dory between the two sides, but I think there's a growing respect between Coventry and Sheffield United, and I think Gus Hamer plays a huge part in that. Callum Ware maybe not so much, but I don't think Coventry fans hold that against us as a club. I think they hold it against him as an individual. And again, I don't mean to speak for them, but shout out to the Coventry fans. But I thought the Sheffield United fans yesterday were absolutely outstanding. So Chris Wilder had called for it. The club backed him on it. The Fab were doing a lot of work behind the scenes. You may not always see some of the stuff that the Fab are doing, the fan advisory board, but they are doing an awful lot to improve the fan experience. And thank you to everybody that's involved in that, because it's a really strong initiative that doesn't always get the plaudits that we just don't see. Some of the work that I know goes in because of the people I speak to. And then we obviously called for it on the channel. And people have done it. People who were able to attend, because not everybody is always able to attend, whether it's location or finance or whatever it might be. Those that were able to attend were loud and proud. And it wasn't a nervy atmosphere like it has been. It felt like not only were the players and the manager, but the crowd were all up for this last push towards the finish line. That's exactly what it felt like. It felt like we were all together. And I think that's a lot of that is Wilder. And I would say that because I'm a Wilder fanboy, but I think a lot of that is the mindset that he puts us in. It's just incredible, incredible. Ev says the amount of talk I heard pre-match from Coventry fans telling me that they're that. We made them look like an ordinary mid-table team. Yeah, we did. We made them look like that. It wasn't that they are, because I don't think they are. I think they're a good side. And you don't beat Sunderland 3-0, do you, if you're a mid-table side? But I think we made them look like that. And that's credit to us. Hamza as well. I haven't mentioned Hamza yet. I thought it was absolutely outstanding. He's a player that a lot of us called for, me included, in the close season, never mind in January. And I was delighted when he signed. And I have to say, he hasn't, to this point, hasn't really lived up to expectations. But last night, I thought was his best game in a Blades shirt. I thought we were everywhere. I think we have seen flashes of that from him, but nowhere near enough. And it's hard when you're not a consistent member of the team or playing in a consistent position, playing with players that you're not used to playing with. So shout out to Hamza. I thought it was outstanding. And I know that Gus ended up with the Man of the Match award, which I'm not going to, by no means, I'm not going to quibble at. But again, for me, I thought you could have given it to Hamza. You could have given it to Peck. You could have given it to Sariki eventually for the way that he came into the game and sort of impacted the game later on. Tyrese Campbell obviously had a huge impact on the game. I thought he missed a couple, but that he maybe will have been disappointed in himself. But the finish, just absolutely incredible. But for me, Anel was the man of the match. I thought Anel were absolutely outstanding. And I haven't heard a lot being talked about it, but there were myself, my dad, and Eki Outsal all saying, wow. He is just, it cannot be underestimated how impactful Haji Wright has been for them during this run. He got a hat-trick against Sunderland. He's got something like, Man Mountain told us it was something like 10 goals in 13 games for Coventry in that little run. And he didn't get a sniff. And that's credit to us and how we defended. Fred says, really nervous before kickoff with the Coventry's form and all the hype, but it felt like we joined all the dots and everything came together. Looked an amazing atmosphere. It was, Fred. It was great to be a part of, pal. Beast Boy says, I told everyone Rian was special and you all laughed at me. Well, you're not laughing now, are you? No, to be honest, Beast Boy, you and Ian, the gatekeeper, Ian the Blade, who oversees our chat rooms. He was. You've both been huge Rian supporters. The one thing I will say is it's not a time to be sort of told you so, ha ha ha. Because we all wanted that as well. You believed it more than anybody else. I'll give you that. No problem with that. But I'm just as delighted for Ian. And I thought, even when I saw it line up last night, I've no shame in admitting that I thought, I understand why he's in because he scored the winner. But I didn't think you were outstanding against Sheffield Wednesday, I'll be honest. But he got that goal that was so important. I understand keeping a goal scorer in the side. In terms of, I think he's a confidence player as well. But Callum O'Hare were made for that game last night, in my opinion, before kickoff. And then look what's happened. Brewster gets a great goal. I thought he played really well last night. Some may say, turns out Chris Wilder knows what he's talking about after all, doesn't it? Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Beast Boy says, I've had enough of Cannon. He's so greedy and doesn't like passing the ball to his teammates. BBD was in. And he shot instead of passing. I've had enough of him. I think you've got to apply context to that, Beast Boy. I think if at that time we were 3-0 up and he is desperate for a goal, desperate, and I think it's starting to affect him. And I think it's obvious that it's starting to affect him. And he were going to shoot on sight, a little bit like Callum O'Hare was shooting on sight yesterday at 3-0. So yeah, I don't judge him on that isolated. I wasn't enamoured with his performance yesterday, but I think he's starting to struggle, which worries me, and I'm just desperate for him to get a goal now, just to get that monkey off his back. Arden says, hi, Jimmy, brilliant team performance from all the lads. Shout out to Chowdhury and Peck, solid in the middle. We should fear no one after that result. Wilder got them blades ticking over nicely. Yeah, one thing I was going to say was as well, just on the back of that, in terms of fearing no one, I do think it is apart from the Burnley game, it's our trickiest game out of the way. On paper. But Leeds were super confident today. And so they should have been. Let's be right. And there's a big rhetoric around Leeds fans being arrogant and all this sort of thing and you know, preconceived ideas and things. But if we could have picked any fixture of the three, we want Swansea at home, don't we? We want Swansea at home instead of Cov or instead of Bristol City. They had the best fixture this weekend. They've gone in super confident. The team have buckled a little bit. We have to go to Oxford next week after they've played. There's every chance we could be in third position come kick-off. We've got to do it again. There are so many banana skins in this league. That's why we love the Championship. It's absolutely outstanding as a league. But that's why we love it, because there are so many. Everybody can beat everybody. It's a cliche, but it's so true. Everybody can beat everybody in this league. So we don't let up. Arden says, Brewster is on fire at the moment, or is he Tyrese in disguise? Long may it continue. Up the blades, up the Ramble, up behind the Ramble. Top man. Chris says, evening, what a great performance. And the result, the whole team played well. I've just read that Leeds season tickets for next season will be 870 quid. Yeah. Cal was telling me that other day, Cal. Then, yeah, that's a lot for a Championship football. Oh, very early days, Chris. Very early days, pal. Jez says, phenomenal team performance and major kudos to Brewster. A fantastic strike and an excellent showing overall. His agent will be loving it. He will, and so he should. He's been through enough, hasn't he? Mogger says, Wilder's intensity is driving this forward. Wouldn't put it past us winning the league. Never seen him this focused. Up the blades. Oh, love it. Love it, Mark. Love it, mate. Abdullah says, brilliant night at the Lane. True story on Brewster. A couple of days before the Sheffield derby last November, I saw Brewster. Hang on, where's this pop-up coming up now? I saw Brewster, Campbell, and some other players playing outside a cafe on Ecky Road. Brewdog looked like he was giving Campbell a very serious pep talk, and Campbell looked fully focused, taking it all in. We all know what happened next. Maybe he's been a big motivator behind the scenes. Oh, the blades, what a result. Sorry, I thought that were Abdullah commenting as well, but absolutely, maybe so. Maybe so. He always looks to be a huge cheerleader, doesn't he, for his teammates, which we've always lauded him for. Whilst sort of it's been a sort of, oh, well, he's on 30, 35 grand a week to be a cheerleader. He's always going to get that, but he wants to be on the pitch and he's doing the business on the pitch at the minute. So fair play to him. Matthew says, up the Blades, what a result. Absolutely right, pal. Matthew, the other Matthew says, all right, another Matthew says, evening, Jimmy. Hope you're good after last night. I am buzzing. Best we played all season, and that free kick from Hamer. I know, mate. I know. And I let Cooper off with his mistake. Yeah, me too. Me too. You've got to let him, you know, he's human. He's human, turns out. Who would have thought? Jay says, evening, Jimmy. Hope you're well, pal. We made him look bang average last night. Peck, man of the match, got me closely followed by Hamer, up the full-time ramble, up the mighty Blades. I'm conscious that I've got people waiting backstage, and I will come to you, lads, I promise. But I'm just, while we're on, and we're thinking about people calling in, I'm just going to give someone the option of whether they'd like to join. And it's up to them. They don't have to. And they may still be streaming themselves at the moment, but I'm just gonna drop in the link if there's anybody that wants to join from a different channel. I think you all know what I'm talking about. So let me scroll down to this link that we're in. Invite guests, copy that, and we'll post it over here. And just put, if you fancy it, pal, ... And then post. There we go. We'll see. We'll see if my fancy's turning up for a little chat. Evening, Jimmy. Your pal made a bang. Yeah, I thought so. Pet man of the match, closely followed by Hamer. Yes, agreed. It's subjective as to who gets man of the match, and I'm not disagreeing with anybody that anybody's going to say, really, because that's how well we played. That's how well we played. Best signing of the season was Leeds not signing a new keeper. Yes, correct, Danny. Great shout. Great shout. I was worried last night. Says Jack, what a surprise. What a surprise you were worried, Jack. Femi looked very nervy. Took a couple of minutes to sit, longer than a couple of minutes, I thought. But as soon as we did, our attacking just clicked last night. Do that to any other team and we win. Yeah, do that to any team in the league, we'll win. I think we do that. If we do that to Burnley, we beat Burnley at Burnley. A Tynery and the new Dean and a Garner. Let's not get carried away, Ian. Tongue slightly in cheek. Well said. Well recovered. Great performance. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Like and subscribe. Thank you, pal. Matthew says, top of the league. We are top of the league. Yeah, so this is, we're just getting into the comments now that have come just as we've gone live before I have my little monologue at the top. It was a fantastic match, says Ramble Royalty. Nick Cook, who I can see has just sent us a private super chat. Thank you, pal. Very much appreciate that. Been waiting to see us thrash a team, and there it was. A comfortable performance, and shout out to the crowd who were loud and proud from kickoff. Were you there, Nick? Were you there, or did you hear that on the TV? Because if you're there, get yourself down to Triple Point and Selena. In fact, I had a right day yesterday, I have to say. Action Coach, followed by Like, I think that's how you pronounce it, Like Bar, then Selena, then Panenka, then Triple Point. It was class yesterday. What a day. 2-2 leads, Swansea, good weekend for us already. Brilliant weekend, Jack. Brilliant weekend, pal. Ev gives us a little swan emoji. Love to see it. On to Oxford. Durr says, top of the league. Jimmy lad, absolutely right, we are, Durr. Come on, you Swans, up the Blades, up all the Rambles. Like and subscribe, says Charlie. Leeds falling apart again, says Joe. Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. David says, we are top of the league. We are top of the league, Connor. And let's not just take it in text form. Let's get the man in himself, if he wants to say it. David, welcome to the Ramble, pal.
Sorry, Jimmy, I was just in my own little world then.
How are you doing, pal? You okay?
I'm good, mate. I've had visitors today and I've got more coming later, so...
Okay, mate. Okay.
Brilliant night last night.
Oh, you're class, weren't it?
And
absolutely class.
And then I saw the score come up on the TV, like, Nonto scored, and I was like, oh, my God.
I was same. In fact, I left my dad's house as soon as Nonto scored, and I thought, well, I'm tight for time anyway, so I'm off. That's them now. I might, you know, that's it done. They're back in game. Well,
Judge, isn't it, huh? After what you can say was a brilliant penalty save.
Yeah, it was. It was a good penalty save.
Points.
And there's a few been saying that. A few been saying it in chat that Melier is worth keeping an eye on because he's always a chance of dropping points for him, and he's done it again, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah, so. I'm going to have a look at Connor's reaction later on.
Yeah, you do right, mate. You do right. I've just messaged him, see if he wants to join us. He's more than welcome. I'm not convinced he will, if I'm honest.
Oh, I
But
should have worn a t-shirt for him if he's coming on.
oh, mate, I know. Who was your man of the match yesterday, David? Who were you man of the match?
I think in Jamie's poll, I put down Hammer.
Yeah,
but it was just for that free kick. And
to be honest, that you could I thought Hayne played very well yesterday, and even if it wasn't for how well he played, you could just, even if he'd been average, you could give him man at match for that free kick alone because it set the tone for the whole game, didn't it?
Yeah, like Wilder said, it changed the whole.
It did. It did.
You know, they seemed to drop off a little bit, and then Big Ty got the second one, and you know,
top class, weren't it?
And then Brewster. I mean, you know, who would have thought?
Not me, mate. Not me. So yeah, I know we've all had times, or the majority of us have had times where we've criticised him this season, and I think fairly as well. I think, you know, I don't look back and regret it or anything, but fair play to the lad. You have to give him his plaudits, don't you, in terms of coming back. And
you know what I liked about it? When they celebrated the goal, and like the cop was singing, "Who put the ball in the Wednesday net?" He was conducting them.
Yeah, he was. Brilliant, weren't it? Absolutely brilliant.
You know, that's what you like to see.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a very together group, isn't it? It's a very together group at the moment.
Yeah, but it's made a wonderful weekend, mate.
Yeah, absolutely right.
You know, I had my ex-wife come up today.
Oh, sorry about that, mate. Sorry about that.
It's all right, man. She came up at 3 o'clock and walked in with a smile on her face with my daughter saying, "Oh, I've come to upset you while you're watching football." So
there's a reason you're not together, isn't there? There's a reason you're not together.
I went up to her and gave her a hug, and she went, "And that message changed from being sarcastic." And I went, "Yeah, my therapist has told me to embrace my mistakes."
Nice. Like it.
But yeah, I mean, I'm buzzing, mate. It's great, you know, to get up on a Saturday morning and not think, "Oh God, you know what we're going to do."
Hello.
Like I said on the hot topic, I was a bit nervous about this game.
Yeah,
but you know,
absolutely. So I think a lot of people were. It were a really tough game. You know, coming up, and if we'd have let them get a bit more into it, then it might not have been as comfortable as it ended up being. But I thought we were superb. The
defense was brilliant. I mean, yeah, like you said, Femi, first 25, 30 minutes, he was a little bit.
He was shaky, weren't he? A little bit.
Yeah, very shaky. And then after that, he looked good.
Yeah, agreed.
Made the second goal.
Yeah,
I don't know if he was trying to shoot or cross it. I don't know, but
I'm not bothered.
No, I'm not. As long as it went in the net, mate, that was fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, it's a brilliant weekend.
It is. David, thank you so much for starting.
No worries, mate. Really no worries.
You have a good weekend, mate. I'll speak to you soon.
Up the Blades and up the Ramble.
Top man. Cheers, David. What a man. Top boy. Thank you, David, for starting us off. Gotta love Swansea, says Chip Butty. Andy says, what a fantastic turnaround at Ellen Road. Just love it. Yes, we do. Melier again. Melier again. Ole, ole, says Fran. Brilliant. In fact, I don't know if I've got it here. Let me just see if I have. Because I think oh, no, it's not on this one. Oh, that's disappointing. Connor had put up a thumbnail before the game saying, Leeds back on track. Presumptuous or what? We're not arrogant. We play like we did last night against Burnley, and any other team will cause them some problems, says Jack. Well. What a lovely weekend, says Paolo. Absolutely right. Riley says Leeds are falling apart again. Getting Swansea, Connor tears, says Jace. Leeds are falling apart again, says Mickey. We are top of the league, says Scott. That is the best thing about it, isn't it? It's not the fact that Leeds are falling away. It's the fact that we are not pulling away, because we're not, but we are being recognised for. It's such. You've got to give credit to all three teams. You've got to give credit. We are on track for a 100-point season on the pitch. It's just incredible what Chris Wilder's done. Absolutely incredible. And to get your flowers by being officially top of the league when it's such a tight 3-horse race. Fair play. One of these three is going to be absolutely devastated to miss out. And hopefully, I've got to say it because I think it's only right. Hopefully, whoever finishes third does go up. I don't think you should be scrapping playoffs or anything like that, like has been said in comments previously, because I think the playoffs is a huge part of the league and makes it as exciting as it is. You know, Bristol City had something to play for today. Coventry will have something to play for next week. Whereas if they were 20 points behind already and all three are already up, it's not as entertaining, is it? But I do think on merit, all three sides deserve to go up this season. I absolutely love watching the pundits when Leeds bottle it. They're truly devastated, says Dempsey. Best they are. Mercer was almost crying at that Swansea equaliser. Getting you beautiful Welsh boys, says Michael. Ha, 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 says Danny. Burnley says, right, are you a Burnley fan then? I thought you were going to sort of tell me that Burnley had conceded in the last minute, and then I missed it, but fair dues. Jimmy Justin Leeds score 2-2. It's all falling apart again, says Neil. Champions again, ole, ole, says Abbas. Jimmy, you need to check on Connor, who was hugging trees at the end of the game. I did see it, mate, to be honest. Pete says, in Wilder we trust and my lucky Red Sox. Happy days, Jimmy. Absolutely right, in Wilder we trust. In fact, speaking of that, does anybody remember, this has been doing rounds on social media today, and I think it's a lad called Kieran who's posted it. So I want to try and give credit where it's due. Does anyone remember this?
And the final bit, for me, the best part of the football club is those people in then up in that stand at the end that stayed right away to the end and have seen a lot of poor football this season because it's been a poor season, and they've travelled and they've earned the money and they've been there and they've supported us, and rightly so. They've walked out on games that I've been manager as well, and I've got absolutely no issue about that because it hasn't been good enough, but it will be good enough next year. It will be 100% good enough next year. They won't be walking out. And they'll be there up in the stands, home and away, and we'll get it right and we'll get the club back where we feel it should be.
Yep. That was Wilder last season, for those that don't remember, when we were in the Premier League and when we were going down with a whimper. I remember that vividly at the time. I remember thinking, I believe him. I didn't know how well we'd do. I wasn't as confident going into this season as like Man Mountain or some Blades were, and I give you full credit if you were on that bandwagon from an early stage. I loved the signings that we made. Loved them. Michael Cooper, we've been calling for 3 years. Absolutely delighted to get him over the line. Callum O'Hare coming in, we're all buzzing. Some of the signings we've made have been fantastic and holding on to some of our key players. But honestly, I couldn't tell you how well we were going to do this season. You always think when there's such a harsh turnover of players, and there was. There's no, people think it's an excuse and all this sort of thing. It's not. It's reality. We had a huge turnover of players, and Burnley did as well, to be fair. But we've got no right to be where we are. It takes time to gel a team together. It takes time for people to work out. And what's happened is, I think that's why we've been seeing some disjointed performances throughout the season, and we've been expecting more from the players than just this really strong mentality where you grind out results, and it's more a professional performance than a dominant performance because they're not familiar with each other yet. And last night was a dominant performance against a very good side, and it makes you wonder. Eki Salmianti was saying, I just hope this is the click. I hope this is us clicking into gear finally and getting a bit of rhythm to our play, because these players are good enough. And they are. And that's what we've been saying all season. So, jumping back on. Best signing for Blazes Melier by Leeds, says Dino. Connor instant match reaction stream, says Paolo. No, it's about Sheffield United, pal. Look, Leeds have done us a favour today, obviously dropping points. And I will ring that towel till there's no more water in it, or whatever I will make sure Connor's clipped. I'll make sure we deal with that. Don't worry about that. But it's not about Leeds falling. It's about Sheffield United rising. And we've done that. It's all about us. It's about us. And we are top of the league. And people like Ricky, who's going to come on, people like Man Mountain, who when we were 5 points behind Leeds, were still saying, we can win this league. And with 7 games to go, we are top of this league. So fair play to those lads and lasses who had confidence in us, because I didn't have that blind confidence. I was always confident that we'd finish strong and put in performances that right till the end that we'd be proud of. I thought it'd be nip and tuck with Burnley, and I thought we might just squeak over. And it's not done yet, by the way. This is all sort of, there's still 7 games to go. But we were about 5 games ago, after Leeds beat us, there were a point where we were 5 points behind Leeds, and we dropped into 3rd at one stage, and it looked shaky for us. And Mark Hill, shout out to Mark, tipping point, Ben Shepherd. I were on the same wavelength as Mark. I thought Leeds are going to go off now and win this by 10 points clear. And then even in today's chat, Platinum chat, and other chats that we've got, people are saying, I'm not even looking at Leeds' result because Leeds are going to win it, as in win the game today. It's Burnley we need to drop and all this sort of thing. Well, look what's happened. This league is incredible, and I absolutely love it. Get Connor on, bless him, says Dan. Connor's crying. Think he'll know Blades are in driving seat, says John. Leeds are falling apart again. The mighty Swansea, says Kyle. Rye says, I'm here, bro. I'm here. Let me have it. No, right. It's a marathon, not a sprint. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And look, I'm enjoying what's happened to your club today. I'm certainly not digging out any Leeds fans, because if she were on other foot, we'd be absolutely devastated as well. So, Tazzy laughing at Leeds. Tom says, we're top of the league. So we are top of the league. Kel says, we're back top again thanks to Leeds drawing. Yes, we are. Andy says, well said, Jim. We have to enjoy the good times. I completely agree, pal. Bryce says, yes. And Grumpy Jack says, wheels on the bus are falling off. Chris says, getting Blades, and thanks to the Leeds goalkeeper. Scott says, play like we did yesterday and we will win the title. Up the Blades, up the... I agree with that. And I still don't blindly think that that's definitely going to happen. In fact, let's get a lad on who might think that. I don't need to put words in his mouth, but from Just United, it's the main boy. It's Ricky. How's it going, pal?
Right, mate.
You on for a little stroll, mate?
Off to the chip shop, pal.
Oh, are you? Nice. Gonna treat you then. Treat you and family after a good weekend.
That's it. Why not, mate? I fucking got an headache from yesterday.
Whoa.
I know. Yep. It happened. Sorry.
Whoa. Oh, unbelievable.
I said fricking.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Apologies to any youngsters watching. This is well before the watershed, and we are not that sort of channel. But anyway, Rick, what are you feeling, mate? Keep it if you can.
Apart from a little mild hangover and my enjoyment, it was a good day. I'm happy. Very happy.
Yeah, mate, it's been class on it. What I mean,
can I just say, even Jackie Longthrow had a good game.
Yeah, he did, mate. Yeah, he did. Of course he did. We're not digging anybody out today.
No, it was solid, to be fair. If I had to be critical about anything, Femi were a bit slow off at mark for the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, I agree. We've said that. Yeah, I think that's fair to say. What about yesterday's performance as a whole then, pal? What were you thinking when you're watching them playing like Brazil?
Mate, you can see things, what they're doing, and yeah, it's not, some of them aren't coming off, but some of them are, and you can see the more confidence they're getting. It's like, it's getting better. These little flick throughs, and you know what it is? Brewster's playing with confidence, and you can see his link up play with Tyrese Campbell. I think it's getting there.
Yeah, I agree. And to be honest, I think Callum O'Hare can count himself a little bit unlucky in terms, because I think he plays really well with Campbell, and they have played well together previously.
Oh yeah, we had it out.
But Brewster's kept his shirt on merit because he got the goal against Wednesday. And I thought he played really well last night, Brewster. Him and Campbell together as well.
Yeah.
See that link-up play coming, and Campbell's got to be looking, thinking, bloody hell, I've done really well all season. And then I'm giving a little bit of a break, and I might not be able to get back in here. But that's the competition you want, I suppose, isn't it? In your side.
Well, it's little things where you see. It's like Callum, he does these little 1-2 passes on ground, whereas Rian, he'll do these little curl balls over players.
It's round corner, doesn't he? Yeah, lovely.
Different.
Lovely,
I think it all depends on who you're going for. I mean, if you're going to get a few smaller players, I reckon you'd go for O'Hare. But taller players, I'd more Brewster. Wilder's man, innit? So he knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
obviously.
Honestly, mate, it's unreal, really. And I'm more pleased with how we played yesterday than I am even results today. But results today have been fantastic for us.
I know we've been pulling up players and that, you know, we like how we've played and struggled against some teams and all that. Like, I just think it's styles, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
how they're set up, how they're trying to come at us or whatever. Because Coventry come at us yesterday and it opened game up for us.
Yeah, it did.
So a lot of teams, they just sit behind ball and that's why we struggle breaking them down.
Yeah,
You just have to
that's
break
fair.
down at like 10 men, innit?
I think, and when we've got to Turf Moor, they'll have to come at us, won't they? If they're still behind us, they'll have to come at us. So it'll be a really interesting battle. That I'm not even thinking about that game because they've got some tricky fixtures. They could be away from us by then. But Rick, are you still? I mean, you're obviously confident we're going up. You have been for a long time, but are you even more convinced now that we're winning league?
I said you from day one, mate. Champions.
You did.
Got to be done. It's written. It's written.
You didn't go on a Leeds channel and start singing it, though, did you? That's difference.
You what?
You didn't go on a Leeds channel and start singing like he came on ours and started singing Champions again, ole, ole, and all that.
I should have done. Should have done. Do you know what I mean? They had the opportunity. They got 5 points in front of us.
I know.
You know what I mean? So, like I told you, 8 points, mate. 8 points yet. I don't know. And what's happening now? Theoretically, we're 4 points in front.
I know. It's balmy, isn't it? What a job he has done. What a job he has done.
It, mate. Most championship wins we've ever had.
I know. It's balmy. And there's still 7 to go.
Yeah.
So somebody's going to miss out on record points out there, and it's going to be heartbreaking for somebody. And let's just hope we're not in that conversation. But listen, mate, you go get your fee and cheat, enjoy your tea, and I'll speak to you soon, pal.
Yeah, have a good one, mate.
Nice one, Rick. See you soon, pal. You know, mate. Nice one, Ricky. Thank you for joining us, pal. On his way to the chippy, it's not a bad idea. I think Sophie will be getting into my ribs to get her something tonight. Liam says, evening, pal, unreal performance last night. Every single one of them was phenomenal last night. 3 goals. That free kick from him was world class. Campbell and Brewster's link-up play, sublime. Up all the rambles. Like and subscribe. Thank you, Liam. I've just got a message from my mate, Connor. Haha, I'm all right. Thanks anyhow. Not coming on. What a surprise. Can Leeds really fall? Looking good, says Steve. Whether they do or they don't, now, more so than it's ever been, it's in our hands, isn't it? Like it's still in all 3 clubs' hands. Nothing's changed in that regard. And if anybody was going to drop points, it was better that Burnley dropped points because they then would have been further clear of 3rd. But Leeds dropping off and us now leading the way, it's a different type of pressure, isn't it? And we've talked about this as well. So the next time we play, though, we still might be 3rd because they played just before us. So really interesting. Love the championship. Love it. And I've said that when we've been behind, and I've said that when we're on top, because there's no way we are going to be static at the top for the next 7 games. No way. Because that would mean neither Leeds nor Burnley win their next game. So it's going to keep moving, and I love it. Jimmy said we need to start showing our teeth at home, and that's more like it. Next 4 games are vital. Treat it as a 12-point tournament. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. And just while I'm thinking about it as well, I had a message from the best coach around, Action Coach Sheffield, John Asquith, who said that was so close to being a really good weekend. And then a few minutes later, come on! Never write us off too early. I'll never write Leeds off, I suppose, in terms of falling apart. But we'll see. Ricky says, hi, Jimmy. It's all looking good, mate. So far, so good, Rick. Still some way to go. Jack says, winning a game of football is like having, like we have been doing, isn't about luck. It's how we can find results without being at our best, which has been less than 5 games, but we were excellent last night. I agree. I think there's a skill to seeing games out. Game management, they call it, don't they? So it's not been luck. It'd have been luck if it had happened, 1, 2, 3, 4 times and we just nicked a goal. But to do it 15 times to win by 1 goal, it's not luck. We were a league above Cov. My man of the match was Hamza. Yeah, again, it shows how good we were that you could put an argument together for about 5 players last night, which is great. I give mine to Anel, but I'm not disputing Hamza. Somebody else gave it City. I'm not disputing that either. My, Connor's spat the dummy out on his channel. It's so funny to see. Do you know what I think is funny, Dan? I think it's funny that we've got such a good relationship now, it has to be said, between the 2 channels, that a lot of us, or a lot of you guys, will dual streamers. So you're obviously watching me because you're commenting on ours, but you've also got Connor on as well, which It's so funny to me. And Leeds fans do the same. Yeah, fair play. You deserve to be top, especially being -2 as well. Not done yet, Rye. Not done yet. I'm not going to sort of. Thanks very much. Yes, tell us we're the best, because we're not yet. We're not yet. We are currently, but it's who finishes there. He who laughs last the longest. But I can still laugh at this point in time, Cara. Nige says, good afternoon, ladies and gents. What a fantastic weekend for us. Very professional performance last night. Dare I say it? Brewster had a great game too. Yes, you dare, Nige. And I think a lot of us that have knocked him, me included, Andy the Blade's not quite there yet, I don't think, but you have to tip your cap to him, don't you? And say, well done. And the one thing we're all, I think, agreed on is we're all delighted for him as a kid, aren't we? As a bloke. Because it's great to see such a good lad have this happen to him. Not one fault from yesterday. Really enjoyed it. Absolutely right. Joe says, up the mighty top of the league Blades. Love that. Jack says, they always say the other team wasn't good when the players, but top of the league, let's go. It wasn't that they weren't good. And I'm not saying they came and played the best game, because they didn't, but I think we stifled them and didn't let them play. Abbas says, are we having a Wilder statue if he wins the league and takes us back to the Prem? Definitely the greatest manager of my lifetime. I agree wholeheartedly. My dad would say Harry Bassett just shades it for him. Again, without putting words in his mouth, but just having spoken to him, I think people from my dad's generation who've gone from the 4th division up to the 1st division would say it's Harry Bassett. I think Chris Wilder would say it's Harry Bassett. I think it's Chris Wilder. But again, subjective, isn't it? And that's what we love about the game. Brett says, we broke Cov's attacks so well. Solid base in any game. Let's get this done. Absolutely right. Don't mean out, does it? If we falter at Oxford, it don't mean anything. Sidney Peck was an Essex boy, but clearly a Blade now. Yes, he is. Up the Blades, up the mighty Ramble. I love that, pal. I love Sidney Peck. I absolutely love Sidney Peck, and he's growing on me every game. I think he gets better every game, but I think he's becoming a bit of a cult hero for us. I see a lot of Michael Brown in him. I see a lot of Needle in him, which I quite like. He's got a little bit of a streak in him, which I really enjoy. He gets it, doesn't he? He gets it. And people sort of scoff sometimes when people say they get our club. He's the epitome of what we're trying to say when we say that. Why wasn't he at Ellen Road, Connor? I mean, we spoke about this before, because, and a little bit like me at away games, I haven't got the loyalty points to go to away games, because I was scouting for a lot of years, so I didn't build up the loyalty points. But Connor, it's a business decision for him in terms of, he knew he'd get a lot of eyes on it's his job. He does it full time. It's his income, and he knew he'd get a lot of eyes on it. So he's made the decision to do watch-alongs instead of going to the majority. He still gets to games, but for big games and things like this, that's his choice. Again, I don't mean to speak for him, but we have mentioned it before. Up the Blades, up the Ramble, up behind the Ramble, like and subscribe. Sarah laughing because Connor hid behind his plant. Nice. Leeds, the greatest comedy club outside of S6, says Steve. John says, Blade's performance last night was the best I've seen in years. Peck getting better and better. Agreed. Look at the players on the bench. Can't wait to go to Oxford. Or up all the Rambles, like and subscribe. Speaking of going to Oxford, let's bring in our next caller. You might know him as the Dumpling Boy. It's Jamie Dumpling. How's it going, pal?
That's never getting dropped, is it?
No, it's not. When you ditch the Ramble to go off and have dumplings, no, mate, it's never getting dropped. You'll be Jamie Dumpling when you're 60. All right? Is that okay?
Yeah.
That's how it's going to be.
Sure.
So anyway, mate, talk to me. Are you... Oxford triggered me into thinking about you as well. Are you doing the Ramble on the road for Oxford?
I'm trying.
Yeah, you're trying to get a ticket, aren't you?
Yeah, I can get travel. It's tickets. So if anyone out there is willing to sell it, I'm willing to pay.
Double? Did you say? Did you say double? You're willing to pay face value?
Not double.
I'm only kidding. Blades wouldn't do that to you. Blades would not do that to you anyway.
I'm willing to pay a decent amount. So if anyone is getting in contact with that man, and then he'll speak to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, the game.
The game, mate. What did you think? We met up before the game, didn't we, pal? We met up in where did we meet you? We're in Penenka. We met you, and then came down to Triple Point. What did you think to the day, pal?
So after I left your lot, because I went to get food, I bumped into a few Coventry fans, and they said that there will be a lot of goals. They never keep clean sheets, and they were right.
Yeah.
I then said to them, I personally like Van Newick, and they said to me, he's quick, but he's our position lot. He was.
Correct.
And then I said, your lot also score a lot late on, so I could see a late winner or something like that. They scored late on. So everything went what could have possibly happened that you were predicting, like not actual like scorelines or winners, but events that may happen. Lots of goals, our position. It all happened. It was a brilliant match. And I will say, I do think Gary Sinclair being back potentially helps. Like
we were saying that. We were trying to get every sort of little lucky charm that we could. I'm
in the cop. You can't hear the other bloke. You can't hear him at all. Gary Sinclair, you can hear him loud and clear. I don't know whether that's just because the way he talks or like
it's no slight on the other fellow who we're filling in.
No.
He's
done a great job.
Huge shoes to fill out there. But having Gary Sinclair back is top class. It's top class to have him back.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I will just say, man of the match. My personal one was Brewster. I thought he just ran that whole attacking midfielder role. Like the way he linked up with players who were on the ball, they were pressing really well. Him and Campbell were just brilliant up front because they were like a front two, and then Brewster just drop a bit deeper. So it was like, but him, City Peg, and Jari, either of them could have been my man of matches. But I'll check the polls, and it's 3 different charts, so people vote multiple times and all that. But it's within about 2 for Bruce and Chowdhury, so I can't even work out.
Split it. You're giving it them both, are you?
Yeah, I've got to.
So the dumpling man of the match goes to both Hamza Chowdhury and Ryan Brewster this week. Shared award.
Yeah, you can't fault either.
Fair dues.
Only player you can say didn't have a good game with Michael Cooper because he didn't have to do all apart from that last bit. That's no bad thing for him. That's just saying he didn't have to do it.
No, I'm pulling you on that straight away. He didn't have a bad game at all.
He didn't have a bad game.
He had one
he didn't have a good game
where
either.
he could have been stronger. Yeah, he could have been stronger in that moment, I think. Other than that, it just proves he's human. And hopefully that turns off Real Madrid from coming in for him in the summer. So that's all I'm after.
You've seen fouls given for them before, so
you have. I thought you were going to blow for a foul. But
and then you could. I mean, it could have been about 5-0.
Could have easy 5-0 wouldn't have flattered us yesterday.
No,
I didn't think
we absolutely murdered them. Like I was nervous for this game, and we absolutely murdered them.
I agree, mate.
And
I agree. Has your opinion changed on Ryan Brewster in the last few games?
It's getting there. I think if we do offer him something, I wouldn't mind giving him a new contract. Obviously, a lower terms, but giving him a contract where it's a normal year, 2 years maybe, plus an additional year if we choose to activate it, that kind of deal. Just so we've got that kind of idea.
I'm not sure. The thing is, I mean, I know you saw it because you were commenting, but Mardy Blades, all 3 of us, nailed our colours to Master and said we wouldn't re-sign Ryan Brewster. Since then, he's got winner at Hillsborough, and he's got a great goal yesterday and a fantastic performance.
And the game before that, he got an assist.
Yeah, exactly right. So I know my Mountain's not available tonight. I don't know what Dave the Nose is up to because I know he's running from pillar to post at a minute as well. But if he's about, I'd love to even just in comments, Dave, if you're about, he'll probably end up catching this later if he's not about now. But I'd love to know what his thoughts are on is Brewster starting to, because I think a lot of people who are casual about it or were on the fence is probably swaying them more towards, we'd like him to stay now, particularly if he's in this, he can link up with Campbell and he deserves a chance for what he's doing recently. But there were some people that were quite off on him and no, he's not good enough. I would probably say Dave the Nose is maybe one of them. So I'd be interested to see if that's changed his opinion at all. I would probably say, knowing my dad, it's not changed my dad's opinion on it, although he's pleased that he's playing well. So it's interesting, isn't it, to see different perspectives on it. So
I think what's helped with him is that he's not been injured. And this is the first time where I think he's had this long of a run where he hasn't been injured. And I know he's not played well up to now, but since he's dropped into that like number 10 role, it's took the pressure off him for one, and he's able to utilise his passing, for example. He's always been a good passer. We've always seen that. He's always able to put on a good pass.
I think it's not just how he executes the pass; it's the pass that he sees that I think is really impressive as well. And Wilder has always been a huge champion of him. So if this turnaround goes much further and it sort of comes full circle, and he's the one that scores the winner or scores an hat-trick at Turf Moor or something to send us up, Wilder's got to get the credit as well. Obviously, the majority goes to Brewster himself. But Wilder has got to get credit for backing him as well, because he saw something in him when a lot of us didn't, and he's proving to be right now, isn't he? Again, I keep saying this. You are.
It's very similar to Vinny Souza, just that man management, that TLC, tender love and care, where he just needs someone on his shoulder. I know he's had that a lot, but it's helped where he's now pushing him into that 11.
Yeah, absolutely right. Any other comments you want to make, pal, before I let you go?
A couple of things. Brewster, that was his 100th league game for us, funnily enough. So to get his goal after how many years in front of the Cop on that game is brilliant to see. 2 years
since he scored at Bramall Lane, I think they said.
Exactly. That's really good timing. Jeremy Beadle has been dropped officially.
Yes. Did they win today? I know they came back and scored an equaliser. I don't know how they finished up.
I will check right now.
I think we don't talk about them, obviously, on this channel. We don't talk about relevant clubs. Go on.
No, it's 1-0.
All right, so they brought in Piers Charles, didn't they? Shea Charles' cousin, I think, in goal. So they dropped the lone goalkeeper. They also dropped Shea Charles. So I wonder if they're already planning for next season in terms of...
I don't care that much. I just find it funny he's being dropped.
Me neither, mate. Me neither. But yeah, nice one. Anything else you want to cover, pal, before I let you go?
Just Leeds. It's just for I went into Swansea game being confident that Leeds would win that out of all their upcoming games, and they've dropped points. And it's Melia. It could have been 4-2. They hit the post, Swansea, and the penalty was saved.
I know, mate. I know. And we put it on, and Swansea were all over him as well. And I thought, right. Anyway, thank you for joining us, Jay. I've got loads of comments to get through.
Pleasure as always.
Right. And I will catch up with you soon. Cheers, pal. See you in a bit. Bye-bye. I've just had another message as well. And we need to get this done quick because he ain't got long.
David knows, he really knows where the wind, I know whispers blow. Smelly brain, he's in the know. David knows, steals the show.
Davey boy, how's it going, pal?
You all right?
Yes, mate. Just 2 seconds. How can anybody, Andy the Blade, slate that song? That is absolutely top class. That it gets me going every single time. Anyway, I'm just leaving it there. What do you think, mate? What do you think? Obviously, let's get the burning question out first, because that's obviously triggered you to let me know directly. Has it changed your opinion on Ryan Brewster at all in terms of offering him a contract?
No.
Oh, didn't think it would. Didn't think it would. I was just interested to hear it.
It's no slight on him. I thought he was excellent last night. Really, really good game. I think he needs longer to get, if he can get to the level, we'll need him to be out in the Premier League.
Still a no.
I will still continue to hope that I'm proven wrong.
Okay, mate. And then just, I know you ain't got long, but just your thoughts on not only last night, which obviously was a brilliant day all around, brilliant result, brilliant evening, and then today, the cherry on the cake with Leeds dropping points. What are you thinking today, pal? Have they cheered you up this weekend?
Yeah, it's been a tough week, but it's the best tonic when you get around your mates and you go and watch them pull out a performance like that. I sort of think that when we're playing against teams where we're worried, we seem to have upped our level a bit. So
yeah, we do.
A game by game, it's going to be an interesting end to the season, but I'd always rather it be in our hands than not.
Mate, it's class. Listen, I'm not going to keep you.
A quick shout out to Femi Sariki. Like you mentioned it earlier, his mental strength. I think he deserves enormous credit for not
Absolutely
going into
right.
it. Some of his touches in those first 10, 15 minutes were not good.
Awful.
But he kept going, and I think he'll only get better. He's a young lad. He's barely played any football at this level.
That is the most impressive thing about him, isn't it? The way he can brush that off, because he were getting some stick as well.
Yeah,
from me as well. Come on, Femi, come on, because he's simple bits of control that he were just not. He weren't judging it right. It were going out of play and things like that. But he compartmentalizes it, and he then can go again. It's a new phase of play. It's another chance for me to get forward. Another chance for me to do something special. And yeah, the mental strength is just as impressive as his physical attributes. So, and that is a hallmark of what could be a really strong player. Obviously, it's potential at the moment, but yeah, I agree with you, pal. I think it's great attribute.
Yeah,
spot on. Nice one, mate. Listen, are you on with tea? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
I thought so.
5 minutes till pasta's done. So,
Chef Dave, I'll let you get back to it, pal. I don't want you to burn the pasta, and I will catch up with you soon, pal. All right.
Yeah. Come on, Blades.
Come on. Oh. Do you want to make our big announcement, actually?
No, I want you to make that big announcement.
I'll make it in a minute. It's just, while I saw you, I know I've mentioned it to you.
Yeah,
so.
No, mate, that's all you. All you.
Right. Okay, pal. I'll catch up with you soon.
Well done. See you later.
Cheers, mate. See you in a bit. Bye. Right. So before I forget, because I will forget if I just carry on talking and not, because I've got loads of comments to get through, and I will try and get through as many as I can. I'm happy to stay on a touch longer if we need to, but I'm conscious also of Mrs. Ramble wanting some tea, and I'm already in bad books because I told her that Sheffield United were playing last night, so I'm hopefully going to have a free weekend. Don't always work out like that. So we have got a new show in the works, and hopefully this will debut next week. And we are going to, I don't know what it's going to be called yet. I've got an idea. I've got a working title, and we try and level up all the time, as you know. And I'm trying all the time to get better, and I'm trying to offer what I can in terms of output from the channel and get more eyes on it. And hopefully you enjoy what we do, and that sometimes involves collaborating with other channels and things like that. But recently, I've had the opportunity to speak to a few former players, and from next week, hopefully, all being well, we'll be starting a new weekly show with Rob Coslook. So Cozzy will be coming on a regular basis, hopefully. Again, if it all works out, it's just a trial period at the moment for both parties. But he's agreed to come on and reflect on where the Blades are now, what's happened. Like he'd have his say on how we played yesterday and what he thinks to Leeds dropping points, what it does for you mentally if you're involved in a race like this, which he has been previously. We're getting a footballer's point of view, a Sheffield United cult legend of what it's like. So I'm sure he'll chuck in some stories in there as well at some stage. I'm not going to force them out of him, because I think if you've seen Cozzy do anything at these after dinners or things that you've seen him socially around, he's full of great stories. But it's better to let them naturally come out, and he'll explain them to you as they come, rather than me force anything out of him, because I think that's the best way. The other thing is, if you're a Platinum Rambler, I'm going to give you the chance to ask. I'm going to pick one question from a Platinum Rambler every week, because he's going to be on every week. So it's not a case of we have to scramble and get his questions in. But I will put your video up to Cozzy. You can ask him direct if you like, and we'll get that played out as part of the show. So I'm hoping next week, keep it Ramble, because I don't know what day it's going to be. It might be as early as Monday. But yeah, so again, hope you like it. Something a little bit different for us, and I'm really looking forward to it. And thank you to Cozzy as well for joining the Ramble, essentially. So mad, absolutely mad into what goes on. So let's get back to the comments. And what the hell, says Riff. Just seeing the Leeds results, cannot stop laughing. Good. I'm glad you can't stop laughing, pal, because I know you've been through a tough time, and I hope you're recovering well. Good to see that you're smiling, and it's great, isn't it? It's great. RJ says, watch Connor's watch along, was in stitches when he hugged his plant at 2-2. I am definitely going to be watching that tonight. I'm definitely going to be watching it. Danny Boy says, man of the match for me was Chowdhury. He was all over the pitch last night. He put his body on the line many times. Best game I've seen him in a Blades shirt. I agree with that. Lads, we're up for last night. We need to keep it going now. Agree. Get that shirt back on Nonto, says Nige. Did he take his shirt off when he scored? Okay. Jack says Femi's so much better on the wing, attacking than defending. When Tom Cannon's shot got through, he's going to take the keeper's hand. When one of his shots gets through, he's going to take the keeper's hand off. Wally says, please check on Connor, who was last seen crying behind a bush and throwing the towel in. It must be horrendous, to be fair, Wally. It must be absolutely horrendous, because we've been there before, haven't we, where we are the side that's had the last-minute sucker punch and somebody else takes advantage. So while I will enjoy it, I think we've got to be measured in kicking the lad while he's down. Cooper got dragged to the floor by his neck, says S. I haven't seen it back. It looked like he had just dropped it, personally. So I haven't watched it back, but if that's the case, then even better. Maybe he is superhuman after all. Did somebody say Leeds falling apart again? Says Alessandro, not able to match that Blades performance. Leeds could have lost as well if Swansea scored that pen. Absolutely right, they could, Mitch. Mellier's our 12th player, says Rob. Looking forward to seeing the table on Sky. Absolutely right, Bri. Connor wants to smash things up now, says Captain Blade. Outstanding. Sidney Peck is Iniesta, and Iniesta is Sidiesta. Nice. What a player. Man of the match, in my opinion. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Like and subscribe. Thank you, Stu. Burnley don't look like stopping at the minute, says Nige. Like us, but Leeds look nervous. Melier was at fault for both goals, to be honest. And that second, how did he not stop that? I haven't seen the second goal, but I agree with the sentiment in terms of, look, we've got to carry on doing our bit. And it's all well and good being smiley and laughing when we are doing our bit, like we are. And I agree, Burnley look good as well in terms of just getting the result that they need to get, which has been a big sort of not criticism, but it's been a big sort of way that people have viewed Sheffield United this season. Leeds look nervous. And I think that's why Connor was so dejected, because you could feel the wobble. You could feel the foundations moving. Daz is laughing with a few goalkeeper emojis. Leeds, Ben's laughing at Leeds. Jack says, last night, everything just clicked and our players looked so energised and rested. Paul says, got to say it was the best United have played as a team in ages, covering each other, helping out, proper United team. All man of the match to me. TC scoring for fun now. Brewster found his touch at the right time. How cool were Tyrese Campbell, by the way? That all three goals were very, very good in their own way. Gus's were outstanding, but Tyrese Campbell's finish as well. And I'm not taking anything away from Ryan Brewster either, but his cool finish where he's just going like this, like get him gone sort of thing, because they've been giving him needle up until that point for ages. They'd all been like, giving him a little bit, and he's basically just ice cool Campbell. Pet was so unlucky not to score last night, got in some great positions, just good defending. Oh, great defending, says Nige. Ray says, just loving this top of the league for now. Luton next for Leeds, who knows they're picking up. Looking good for us. Up the Blades, up all the Rambles. Like and subscribe. Did Luton win today? I know they were winning against Hull, weren't they? So, do Luton go into that Leeds game confident? Let's have a little look how Luton got on today. Yeah, they won. They won away at Hull, and they've got Leeds at home next. We're Sheffield United. We're top of the league. Shout out Sean, hope you're good, pal. One of our Platinum Ramblers. James says, evening, Jimmy, lad. I think the Blades have finally clicked, mate, and Leeds are falling apart again. What a weekend. Absolutely right. Chowdhury put a right shift in, says Jimmy. He did. Establishing himself as a solid player. All credit flying halfway around the world. A monster effort involved. Yes, absolutely. A monster effort indeed. Take that lead, says Stephen Blade. Rye says, just enjoy it. The here and now. What will be, will be. Absolutely right, Rye. And it could so easily flip, couldn't it? So easily. So I am living in the moment but fully in the knowledge that it could come back and bite me. And it may do. Over to you. Now you're the one being chased as FV. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. And I don't like being chased. But having said that, if you give us a choice of anywhere to be in the league, nobody's going to say second or third, are they? You want to be top. And it don't matter to me now. I still said to you, if you offer me second on the final whistle on the 46th game, I'm snapping your hand off. But, let's just take each game as it comes. Ian says, one outstanding performance last night. Difficult to pick a man of the match. Agreed. But Hamer has to take it for me. That amazing free kick up the Blades, up the Ramble. Paul Barker says, last night was well worth the round trip from Pompey. Wow, mate. Wow, that is commitment. Up the Blades, get in there, Jimmy. Leeds are massive. Okay. Yeah, I know. I never had Connor down as a tree hugger, says Ian. Essex Blade says, anyone else rewatch the whole match today? I haven't had time to do that, but I'm sure I probably will, if I'm honest. Which is such a contrast, because if we lose or even draw important games, I can't even look at the highlights because I'm that childish. Anyone else? Sly says, we're bottling the league. We're bottling the league. We're Leeds United. I can't. I'm the one that has to read these comments out, and then it looks like I'm doing it. And I sort of am, but come on, don't stitch me up. Sly. Burnley fan here says, Bri, I've no doubt the Blades are going up. It's a question of first or second for me. I can see us getting into the top two. I think we'll draw against you at the turf. 15 draws has sunk us. You're doing what's needed, though, aren't you, at the minute? And now level on points with Leeds, where we were at the start of the weekend. It's been a good weekend for Blades and Burnley, hasn't it? Harry says, hi, Jim. Hope everything is well. What a performance yesterday. Proper chuff for Ian, who I thought played a decent game. Chowdhury Peck controlled the game. Best game I've seen Campbell play. Wow. And Gus Hamer, wow, he says. I thought the same about Sariki too, Jimmy says, Bri. I'm going to try my best to get through some. Let's go, says Rob, giving us a super chat. Thank you, pal. Very much appreciated. What currency is that? Whereabouts are you, by the way? Not that it matters how much it is or anything, but I don't know that I might have asked you that before as well. So apologies. My memory is shocking. Bryce says, thank you for your support, Robert. Absolutely right. Thank you, pal. Really appreciate it. Daz says, great 24 hours of football last night, and Connor's live stream meltdown made the weekend. Daz, you are a bad one for that. I'm back in the UK for a couple of weeks and should make the Millwall game. Nice one, pal. Nice one. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Drew, thank you for being a member for 17 months, pal. Very much appreciated. Brilliant weekend. Loving it. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Thank you for your support, mate. Really appreciate it. Stevie Holmes says, thought throughout the game yesterday it was a complete annihilation of Coventry. Best electric atmosphere this season. Completely agree. When the team puts on performances like that, the crowd will always be more up for it. Yeah, fair. Kel says, hi, Jimmy. Hope you're well. Great performance for the Blades. Did you go? I certainly did. Up the Blades, up the Ramble, up behind the Ramble. Races, we might just be in top form at the right time. Just at least do their usual falling apart again. Don't you just love it? I think it's weird, isn't it? Because this is a different Leeds team to the one that fell apart. But it is a cyclical thing with them. It seems to be anyway. And I wouldn't have given it much credence unless, but now they have dropped points. I think it becomes more of a mental factor for them, where they start to get nervous, even though it's a different group of players. It's so strange how these things work. 6 points in 5 games now for Leeds. Bottom 3 form. Says Tazit, they didn't look good today. They did not look good from when we were watching them. Will says, I really liked Wilder's little adjustments to Chowdhury. He drops in with Robbo and Anel, pushed a right back and Burrows, and Femi pushed on when we were playing out. Oh, Anel pushed out to right back. Yes, he did. I noticed that, and Femi was further up when we were playing out. Because normally, Chowdhury drops into the 3, and they stay as a 3, don't they? And then Burrows and or Femi, depending on which side, will go higher up. And that's why we try and get out. But yesterday, astute that will, Anel pushed right over to right back. And sometimes he would then maraud forward with it himself if there was the space in front of him. But it allowed Femi to go almost into a right wing position, which then nudged Ben Burton Diaz inside, offered more options. It was very clever, I thought. Daniel says, I reckon half the team had their performance of the season this game. If I started singing their praises, there'd be too much to list. So instead, I'll name one name, Christopher John Wilder. Oh. Ryan says, best performance of the season. The pressing was on point, defensively solid, clinical in attack. Some of the passing from Peck was sublime. My man of the match. Connor live and ready for clipping. Up the Blades Ramble, like and subscribe. Thank you, pal. Bry says, I think it was fantastic that we didn't sit back, but kept going for the throw. I agree, Bry. Said that to my dad yesterday. We're 3-0 up and we're going for 4. Brilliant. Brilliant. Something we haven't seen this season. Going for the jugular. Loved it. Leeds fans are worried, says Daz. If we were the mentality monsters, they're the mentality puppies. Careful. It's I don't mean careful in terms of, you can call them what you want, but I just think early to be going with this. It sounds like the division's best right back had a shocker, brain dead, according to your mate. Yeah, sorry he said that. Phil, good evening, pal. As much as I enjoyed last night's superb performance, watching one Leeds this afternoon was pure cold. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Hi, says Dempsey. I think we might come first in the league. I think that means. Kelv says, Leeds are falling apart again. And Kelv is a Burnley fan. Up the Clarets, he says. Up the Ramble. Top man. Some of Brewster's defensive work past couple of games has gone under the radar a little. Yeah, probably. He has been good tracking back as well. That's fair. Ray says at times the Tony Curry stand outsung the Cop. It was outstanding. From all the Blades. Well done, everyone. Yes, Ray, I agree with that, pal. Mr. Vancouver, you're absolutely unbelievable. You're absolutely incredible, mate. Thank you. Hi, Jimmy. A great performance by the whole team who played with confidence and a winning mentality. The fans were great, and the new owners saw and heard what this football club is all about. I said 2 weeks ago, we're winning the league, and I stick by that. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Thank you so much, mate. Thank you. That means an awful lot. Very, very generous of you. Up the Blades, up the Ramble, says marching on together, LUFC. Okay, fair enough, pal. Wrapped, oh, lol, so wrapped up in this, I forgot to say hi, Jimmy and fellow Blades. Says Pry up the Blades. No worries, pal. Don't worry about that. Nice one, Mr. V, says Chris. Absolutely right. Unbelievable. What a weekend, says Wayne. Up the Blades, up all the Rambles. Wayne joined us at Triple Point again. Another one of our Ramblers joined us at Triple Point yesterday. Good to see you, pal. Bryce says, evening, Jimmy. What can I say about last night? Excellent performance by the Blades. How did Leeds get on? Up the Blades. Right, I'm going to jump. We're now less than 10 minutes before we're supposed to end. And before I don't want to risk the wrath of Mrs. Ramble. So I'm going to try and jump to some comments of those that haven't had a comment read out. So I'll try my best. Ian says, agree about an L. It was a brick wall last night. And I also thought Sariki was immense once the game settled down. Yes, agreed. Bryce says, Mr. Vancouver, thank you for your support for the channel. Mr. Vancouver has been a pillar of this channel. A pillar. He has been with us from very, very early on, Bryce. So yeah, I echo what you're saying there, pal. Thank you to everybody that supports us in any way, whether you watch us, like us. Liking the video means an awful lot more than you'd know, because it gets us nudged out to more people. Sharing the video is absolutely incredible. Subscribing to the channel is sort of a metric that is most people look at and see. So if I'm going for a sponsorship deal, it's good. It's better to say, oh, I've got X amount of subscribers. It don't matter that, you know, with the best viewed Sheffield United channel at the moment by a little bit, a little bit. By a lot, but though the metrics are so important. So thank you to everybody who supports us in whatever way that you support us. It is I cannot tell you what it means to me. The fact that I get to do this, talk to you a lot about Sheffield United, it's incredible. Thank you. Paul says, great weekend for us, Blades. Pressure on Leeds and Burnley now. 8. I'm not going to read that comment out, but I have noted it. 4 points clear, mate. Absolutely. He knows the accrued points table. That's right. Clarets and Blades come through arguably their toughest remaining tests, but for each other, says Kelv. It's going to be tense at the turf when you guys come. Yes, it is. I'd probably say your next game is your toughest outside of today, Kelv. Although I thought Bristol City would be a really tough challenge for you today. I think Coventry game away, even though we put them to the sword last night, they've got some really good players. I'm not counting them out by any means. David with the NWA poster, what a lad, says Paolo. That shows you how far back we are. So I'm going to do my absolute best to. James says, so remind me whose wheels are good to fall off, Connor. Lol. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Like and subscribe. Come on, you red and white wizards. Wayne says, you won't be in 7 games. I don't know if that's something we're all laughing at that point. I'm not entirely sure. Mr. Mumford, Professor Mumford says we were superb last night. We are peaking just at the right time. Believe, Blades. Yes, Stevie. Love that. Love that. Congrats, Jimmy, says Big Mally. Thank you, pal. I've seen you've been commenting on some of the streams. Appreciate your support, mate. I know you're not a Blade, but you're always very welcome here. Steve says, what a performance from Dem Blades. Tyrese Campbell, best striker in the league. Argue that point against what Steve's saying there. Argue that point. You can't. He is the best striker in the league at the moment. Brewster now looking like a player with confidence to burn. Agreed. Well done, Chris Wilder. Well done, Ryan Brewster predominantly, who's doing the work. But well done, Chris Wilder, for backing him as well. Hamer is ridiculous. Yes, he is. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. LA says, evening, Jimmy. Oh, well, back in second place. Leeds machine just rolls on night, won't we? Are Sheffield United. We're top of the league. Up the Blades, up all the Rambles. Like and subscribe. Our destiny is in our hands, says Roy the Corinthos Blade. Mark just pipes in with a few little swans there like that. Farker out. Need the new manager bounce, says Sly. Rich says, if Carlsberg did weekends, up the Blades. Sawyer says, you guys are having a party in here. From a Leeds fan crying. Amazing game, says Eamon. Jimmy last night. Great performance from the lads and 3 great goals. Leeds fell apart again. I'd say they're falling. They're starting to stutter a little bit, aren't they? Rich says, I have said since Chesterfield friendly will finish in automatics. I have Burnley top and Leeds to do a Leeds. I hope wrong about second place. If rest come up trumps, I'll be selling the lottery numbers. Nice one, pal. If you've called that, then fair play. King says, yeah, to be fair, I'd like all 3 to go up. So you carry on the new part of the channel in the Prem too. Yeah, that would be great. I think what Connor said is if Leeds don't make it, he will continue to do content with us, even if it's just part of his Conor McGilligan channel. But we'll see. We'll see where first and foremost, as a Blade, get Sheffield United promoted. That is the only aim. Personally, it would be great to continue doing content with the lads. But that is a very distant second, if I'm honest, in terms of we have to focus on ourselves, don't we? I love working with Connor and Joe, but it's about Sheffield United. Peck, Anel, Hamza, Gus, Tyrese, Sariki, all in for man of the match, says Kai. Absolutely right, mate. Kieran says Leeds are falling apart again. Louis says, how much did you and Burnley pay Melier? Come on, admit it. He does it for free, says Dan. Nice. God, I love this division. Which division? Joy division? Well, yeah, the championship, maybe. Chris says, anyone wants to buy a Plymouth ticket? My mate's selling one. Fair dues. Good place to advertise it, pal. Good place to advertise it if anybody wants a Plymouth ticket. I think Jamie Dumpling's got one now. I know we're looking for one. Maury might have been looking for one. Maury who's done our Ramble on the road this time. So maybe. Ian says, Leeds away to Luton next week. Luton now have a chance of getting out of the bottom 3. Could be an interesting weekend. Cov have to get something as well. I agree. It's brilliant in it. This league is fantastic. 50% of off club shirts at the shop. What size for Connor? Ole, ole. I might have mentioned that to him. Jim, can you share the Wilder clip on the Rambler chat? 100% better next season. Yeah, of course I will, mate. Of course I will. The Saint says, Cannon needs some slack. He's been here 2 minutes and not playing 90 minutes yet either. He should have passed, but 3-0 up and with context, he just wants a goal. I agree with this completely. He's trying too hard, but it will come. Yeah, it worried me a little bit yesterday because it looked like he was trying too hard, which is never a good sign when a striker's sort of struggling for confidence. Obviously, we're all behind him. Obviously. Someone sent me a photo of Cooper. I'll send it to you if I can find it. Thank you, David. Paul from PNUK says, Swans missed a pen too. Yeah, absolutely right. Michael says, Jimmy, all things can change from match to match. I agree, although Burnley and the Blades are more capable of grinding out results match to match compared to Leeds. Stronger defence and the top 2 goalkeepers. Paul Rose of Wellstone Landscapes says, don't like being overconfident because I support United. Anything can happen, but surely Leeds' last 5 games have not been promotion. No, they haven't. They haven't. 6 points in 5 games. Not at all. Just while I'm thinking about that, because obviously Wellstone Landscapes and all our sponsors' details are in the description below. Thank you to everybody that supports the channel. Pete and a few others were asking me about some of the merch. I've added the merch link if you're interested. I've added the merch link to the description because I know a few people have been asking me about it. So thank you for your support with that. Dex says, Melior's a secret blade. Congrats on promotion, mate, says Jack, who is a very deflated Leeds fan by the looks of it. Joy Division, anyone, says Danny. Blazeman says, yesterday was a benchmark for the minimum standard we need for the next 7 matches. 1 draw and we could be 3rd. But imagine if we win the next and one of those 2 drop points. Absolutely right. Carl says, the abuse and ridicule I took at the train station when the seat smashers beat us. This is absolute karma. Wow, okay. Who else? Benjamin Baboom says, champions again. Ole, ole. Wow, wow. I think we're just about going to the end. And look at that. Bang on time as well. Danny says, up the mighty blades, up all the rambles, like and subscribe, hit the like, still buzzing with top after today, keep it up United. S says, I've just clipped Connor, I've posted it on your last Twitter post. Thank you, mate. Thank you. Always helps. Always helps. Right. Thank you to everybody for joining us today. Enjoy this. Enjoy this. Don't feel bad. Don't feel nervous that it might come back and bite us, because yes, it might. It might. But if you can't enjoy times like this, when United, who started the season on -2. We were bottom of the league as it kicked off, and with 7 games to go, we are top of the league. What an incredible job the board has done to back the manager in the closed season. That goes back to Prince Abdullah and the board who were currently in situ at that point, backing him with signings that he asked for and he got, including Tyrese Campbell, Michael Cooper, Callum O'Hare, Harrison Burrows, keeping hold of the main actors, as Wilder calls them, Vinny Souza, Gus Hamer. And Wilder talks about we wanted more. Managers always want more, and fair play. Right through to January, when the board's backed him with Cannon and Brereton Diaz, Hamza Chowdhury. Brilliant backing from the club. Wilder's job of getting these players in and gelling them all together cannot be understated. I think it's been absolutely superb. The players themselves working their socks off to get us to this position. We're the best team in this league at the moment. On the pitch, we're 4 points clear of anybody else. So enjoy it. And we've earned it. And as fans, it's nice to be enjoying it for a little bit. And it might not finish like this. So if it doesn't, it's going to happen anyway. Enjoy this. You deserve it. We deserve it. So for now, come on, you red and white wizards. And me and Cozzy will see you very soon. Over the way! Ramble on!